Hi guys, thanks for taking the time to check out this tutorial today. Todd Van Arsdale of Next Big Adventure here. What we're going to do today is create a blog, and we're going to do it in as few steps as possible, as quickly as possible. We are going to blow through some of these steps really pretty quickly, but don't worry about that. I will have notes below that can step you through the process later on. The reason for this tutorial is to show you just how simple it can be to set up a blog so you can start getting your ideas out into the world. I know a lot of people have the desire to start their own blog, whether it's an online business or to just share recipes with friends. But even with all the information out there, it's still kind of difficult to know where to start. And actually showing you how to do it is pretty straightforward. Being a web developer, I've done it many times myself. It's not that big of a deal. So hopefully this tutorial will help you out. So I'll just go ahead and get started here. I'm going to set a timer. There are a couple of caveats to the timer. I know there are a lot of videos on the internet that say that you can get a 4 minute or 5 minute or a 10 minute blog set up, and that's might be true. I just think that there are a couple of elements that are beyond the control of you. So, for example, this setup was actually going to involve a new domain registration, which means that that name has to propagate out into the internet. That propagation actually takes time. How much time is variable. So it can take anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours to back in the old days up to a day. I haven't seen it take much longer than an hour. Much more likely is it takes a few minutes. But even so, timers should be taken with a grain of salt because there are just a couple of things that you can't control. But that said, we're just going to jump right in. Just for a little bit of context, we're starting at nextbigadventure.com, and I am going to be using this link over here in the right sidebar of my personal site. All right, so I'm going to start the timer, and here we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click through on this Dreamhost link. This is an affiliate link. If you dig this tutorial and you find it valuable, go ahead and use that, and that'll help me out a lot. I appreciate it. So that will take you to dreamhost.com. And the first thing we want to do here is we want to go ahead and click through on that big shiny orange sign up now button. All right, the first step is that we need to create an account. And to create an account, you're going to need first an email address. You're going to want to provide it a password. And then you're going to want to choose a security question. The security questions are going to be used. If you lose your login information, Dreamhost will use the security question, the answer to this security question, as a way to validate your identity, and it will retrieve that information for you. The second step is to configure a domain. In this case, I already have my domain purchased, and the domain that I purchased was startablogfast.com. And as you can see, yes, the domain is already taken. Since I already purchased it, I don't need to purchase another one. You can actually just go ahead and put in whatever you want here. For the case of just getting past the screen, I'm going to put in startablogfast2.com, and then I'm going to leave the default selection, which is I want to register this domain. And down here at the bottom, just go ahead and click continue. And the third step, once we get to it, will be to choose a plan. At the time of this filming, Dreamhost had two plans. One is a year prepaid package. The other is a 2-year prepaid package. One is $9.95 a month, I believe, and the other is $8.95 a month. And you can choose whichever you prefer. Yes, I'm just going to go with the default here, which is a 1-year prepaid $9.95 a month. I'm going to go down here and click continue. And the review and finalize stage, which is the last stage that we'll need to go through, is basically your typical shopping cart experience. So if you've ever purchased anything on Amazon, you'll know exactly what you need to do here. Just go ahead and populate the information with your personal information. Down here at the bottom, you need to provide your credit card information, including expiration date and security code. And then all the way down here at the bottom, you want to go ahead and make sure that you have clicked on yes, I agree to Dreamhost terms of service, anti-spam, and domain registration policies. Now, go ahead and if you're going to go buy through Dreamhost, go ahead and click on complete sign up. I am not going to complete the sign up because, as I mentioned before, I already have an account. But what you'll get after this is you'll get the opportunity to log into your new Dreamhost account. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to log into my Dreamhost account just by going to dreamhost.com. Up here in the the top portion of the page, you want to select Panel. Panel will give you login space where you can log into your backend, where you can manage your new domain. Okay, so again, I have to mention I've been a member hosting with Dreamhost since 2005. So my pages are going to be a lot busier than yours. So there'll be a little bit more running around in here that you won't have to worry about. But the first thing we want to do is you want to look up here in the top left corner. We're looking for Manage Domains under Toolbox. And what we're going to be looking for here is the domain that we registered. And again, in my case, my list is long. You will have a list of one. So yeah, here it is. So startablogfast.com is listed as DNS only. Basically what that means is that Dreamhost has registered it as a domain, but it doesn't yet have any hosting set up for it. So to set up hosting, we're going to click the add button. Setting up hosting is pretty straightforward. It just verifies that this is the domain that you want to host. We're going to leave this as a default, and then we're going to select a user. I have many users, but your option, and the option I'm going to choose here, is create a new user, and I'm just going to create a name for that user, and it can be anything that you want. And now I'm going to go down here, and I am going to populate the evil CAPTCHA form, and then I'm going to click on fully host this domain, and we'll see if I got that CAPTCHA right. That username is already taken. Interesting. Okay. So I'm just going to make up another crazy name for my user. It doesn't really matter what it's called. And then I'm going to click on fully host this domain again. Yay, success. Startablog Fast has been added to our hosting system. And here's what I was mentioning before. It may take up a few hours for your new domain to start working. For what we need to do right now, that really doesn't concern us, because what we're going to do right now is we are going to install WordPress that will run our blog. So over here in the left-hand side, underneath the toolbox section that we just used, is a section called Main Menu. You're looking for an option called Goodies, and then you want to click underneath Goodies. You want to click on one-click installs. Excuse me. All right, on this page, what you're looking for is, there's a lot of options, but what we're looking for is WordPress. So we're going to click on WordPress, and then we're going to click on Custom Installation. Underneath Custom Installation, you want to select the domain, and you will only have one. Again, my list is long. You want to select the domain that you want to install WordPress on. So we're just going to select that domain, and we'll leave the rest as defaults. You can go ahead and click on Install it for me now. And that'll take a minute to chew, and it says, yes, success. We've installed WordPress to startablogfast.com within 10 minutes. Again, this is something you can't control, but it's generally really pretty quick. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just drive over to startablogfast.com, and we're going to see what we get so far. All right, so this domain hasn't resolved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this because this is time that we can't control. And what I'm going to do is it's 2:42 right now. I'm going to pay attention to how long it takes. And I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll jump back in as soon as the domain resolves. All right, and we're back. Actually, that didn't take long at all. It is now 2:44, so a minute and a half, a couple of minutes has passed. Basically where we are is I drove to startablogfast.com. WordPress that Dreamhost installed for us recognized that this is the first time that we've been to the site with WordPress installed. And so it's presented us with a configuration screen. It's very, very simple. Actually, it's not dissimilar to the account setup screen that we had to fill out before during web hosting. So I'm just going to walk you through that, and then we'll get set up right up into our WordPress install. So I'll go ahead and restart the timer. And what it wants first is it wants a title, site title name. So we're going to call it Startablogfast, and we're going to use the default username. You're going to want to set that up as complicated as you can. I know you don't want to hear it, but there's a lot of people trying to get into websites nowadays. So you really want to make your username and your password as secure as you possibly can. And then it's after you put in your password, it's going to want your email address. So I'm just going to provide a Next Big Adventure email address and leave that next option as a default and go ahead and click Install WordPress. And that'll chew on that for a second. And success. Great. It has been installed, and we'll go ahead and click on the Login button, and we'll go ahead and log in with the credentials that were provided in the first configuration page. All right, and we're in, and here's your blog set up. Up here in the top, you'll see the title of the blog, which is Start a Blog Fast. And then underneath that, when you hover, is an option to visit the site. So let's visit the site. And there it is. It's put in an initial blog post for you, and it's also installed an initial theme. And we can change all that. We have a couple minutes left before 10 minutes, so we'll go ahead and do that real quick. So if you go back to the admin, you want to go under Appearance, Themes. And what it'll do is it'll show you what the default is. And we've already seen this, so we know that this is the one that's currently active. Underneath that are a whole slew of options that you can choose from. Feel free to do that if you want. Another option is to click on Install Themes, and then you can search for one. And if you happen to know the name of a theme, which I do, there's one called Responsive. You can search for that, and it'll go out into the internet, and it'll search for themes that come back with a keyword. I guess there's a lot of them that respond to responsive, as the case may be. Responsive actually isn't a terribly good blog example, so we'll go down here and we'll select the Bootstrap as an example. It's a very, very basic one. And we'll click Install Now. And WordPress will go ahead and install that, and we need to click Activate to actually make that theme active. And if you go back over here to the blog and refresh the page, you'll see that it is indeed active. If you go back over to the admin, we'll go ahead and create our first post. Got about 30 seconds left. So we add a new post. First, new post. And we'll go down here and say, hi everybody. First post. And we'll go ahead and publish it. And if you go back over here, and there it is, your first new post. And I'm going to pause, and we're just shy of 10 minutes. Yeah, so there you have it. You've gone from nothing to your first blog post in not very much time at all. From our side of things, just shy of 10 minutes. Again, that number is a little bit of an illusion because there are a couple of things that you will more than likely have to wait on. But even so, very little time to go from absolutely nothing to your very first blog post. So you know, too, in this example, I've been using web hosting through Dreamhost. You do not have to use Dreamhost. In fact, there are many reputable web hosts out there that are good. I use Dreamhost because I've held an account with them since 2005, and I've had pretty good experience with the service. If you do decide to use Dreamhost for your service, there is a link on my page, nextbigadventure.com, over in the right-hand column. If you click on that, or if you click on the link below in the notes, show notes below, both of those are affiliate links. If you use them, that's great. It would be helping me out. Thanks a lot in advance. If not, that's fine too. It's not a big deal. Just go directly to dreamhost.com and check them out. So that's kind of it. Thank you guys again for tuning in today. I hope this tutorial was useful. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And feel free to check out nextbigadventure.com for more information about business, travel, and lifestyle. Thanks, you guys.